A lot of people have told me, like, you're the most interesting accountant I've ever met. To be fiscally responsible, you have to make fiscally responsible choices. And living in a tiny home has given me that financial freedom to just pay off everything else and just kind of save up a little nest egg so that I can get a nice piece of property. Hey, my name is Adele, and this is my tiny home.
This video is sponsored by JINS. Get $15 off your glasses, prescription or not, at jins.life/FLORB and use code FLORB15 at checkout.
So I was living out in Utah. I owned a little 3-bedroom, 3-bath townhouse, and I loved it. I loved the area, but it was just too much, too big for me. I was like, this is just absurd. Like, why would I have 1,600 square feet when I only need 300? I've always owned houses and been able to kind of turn a profit on that in the past couple of years, but the housing market has just been insane. Kind of figured like now's kind of the time to get out of it and just kind of do something different for a little bit. I paid $40,000 for this tiny home. I've put maybe another $2,500 into it in renovations, just trying to find everything that I can that's used or recycled. And I've had a lot of great resources from friends and family. It's been nice, way less to clean, way less to vacuum. It was designed modular, so any of the cabinets can be moved in any position and they fit. And the floor goes out under everything. And that kind of makes it a lot easier to customize and make it what you want it for what works for you. So this is a 20-foot long trailer, 26 feet long on the top, 8.5 feet wide, which is highway standard, 13.5 feet tall, which is highway max. So I'm a little bit nervous about putting solar panels on it because it might cause that to be a little bit over, but we'll see how that goes. One of my favorite parts is the deck. I just love coming out here in the afternoon. It's still in the shade. Can do some yoga, hang out, have a beer, read a book. I'm also trying to find someplace a little bit more permanent, and at that point I'll probably put a larger deck around. These doors are not standard, so replacing them is a little bit difficult. They were cut down a little bit to size. So my dad is a retired salesman of doors and locks, so he, of course, has given me this great pin pad here, so that's been really handy. Out here we have the vent for the propane heater. I normally don't turn it on, but it's there just in case. Sometimes in the winter when it's really cold out here in Montana, I'll turn it on at night just to kind of keep the downstairs a little bit warmer. I just recently built the storage shed. I like getting outside, skiing, snowboarding, biking. I also have 3 pretty large propane tanks that are inside. I go through about 1 tank, I'd say every 5 to 6 months. One thing I wasn't really aware of was the turning radius when it's hooked up to a truck. So we might have to do something with an extendable hitch or something like that, but right now it is kind of a little bit in the way if we move it, so I'm gonna have to make some changes for that. This is the back side of the tiny home. The space is south, so it gets the most sun. I usually leave all of these windows closed when it's hot out. I also usually leave the curtains closed just to kind of keep the sun out a bit. And this is just a standard hose hookup. I have it insulated for the winter. This hose was made by the people who built the tiny home, and it has outlasted 5 different heated hoses that I bought online. So if you're gonna build your own, make it sturdy, make it work, and you shouldn't have to worry about it after that. This is the vent for the composting toilet. I haven't noticed any smell from it. I've actually really enjoyed the composting toilet, so I'd recommend it. This is the mini split. It's air conditioning and heat. It's 110 volt, and it's done a wonderful job of keeping the tiny home at the perfect temperature. I love to just come out here and watch the sunset. The sunset's right behind those mountains there. You can come out here in the late afternoon, get some sun, get some breeze. I also really like my little vanity plate. This is my second tiny home, so I decided to name it Tiny 2. This is the gray water drain off. Right now we have it draining right into the septic. We're working on getting some more permanent lines installed. It is just gray water and no black water, which has been really nice. All of this white powder around the wheel wells is diatomaceous earth. I've put it around to kind of mitigate an ant problem inside. So far, so good. It's been working, and it's safe for pets, safe for animals. You can actually put it right in your food, so it's not too bad for you. Welcome to my tiny home. So this is my living room area, also doubles as my dining room area because I usually eat on the couch anyways. I just recently put in the bench. The whole top comes off, so it's really easy to take out of there. Love the way it turned out. I'm thinking about doing a nice little ottoman here that flips up into a table. I love all of my bookshelf space. It's been great to have a little place to show off my knickknacks and then also my book collection. All of my books are spread all across the country with different friends that are reading them for the time being. I think if I just keep that going, there'll be plenty of space for everything here. So this is the propane heater. I really only turn it on the coldest nights, but probably had to turn it on maybe 5 times this last winter. It really was pretty mild here in Montana. This is where I come if I want to go outside, work out a little bit, do some yoga. So I kind of keep everything in one spot so that anytime that I come home from work, it's the first thing I see. It's the first thing I think about and want to do. I have 4 solar batteries down here. I was able to recycle the shoe rack from another shoe rack that was put in the tiny home. I wasn't really fond of the location or the size of it, so I made this one instead. This rug I got for $10. Someone was getting rid of it and they didn't want it, and I was like, you know, that might just fit in here. Painted this with chalkboard paint, which has been really nice to put all of my goals and daily reminders on there, just to remember everything. We got this nice little messy cabinet in here, but we have the kitty litter box down here. One thing I realized when I moved in was kitty litter creates a lot of dust that I didn't have before because I had carpet. So I wanted to have a space that they could go and kind of have some privacy, as well as keep the dust factor down. So that has just done wonders. Right here, we've got a slide out stair. This is all of my hardware and different building materials that I might need. And that's been nice to have. You can slide it all the way in and get it out of the way, or have it as a nice little step up to the loft. This is my clothes cabinet. I didn't get rid of any clothes. I've been living minimalist for 3 or 4 years now, and nothing's really changed. Over here we have our washer and dryer. We found that the washer and dryer combo doesn't work quite as well. The dryer takes a lot longer, so we added the second one in there just to make sure that we get everything. Here we've got the bathroom. I have a nice Nature's Head composting toilet, which I was a little apprehensive about at first, but I've actually really enjoyed it. I empty the tank maybe once a week, and then I clean it out maybe once a month, once every other month, depending on if it's tax season or not. I've also got the on-demand hot water heater, which has just been wonderful. Just turns on right there. You can set the temperature. It's endless hot water heater as long as you have propane. Got a little shower here. It's not quite as big as I'd hoped it would be, but it works for me. Had a nice hose in here before, but it took up a little bit too much space, so I put in something a little bit more minimalistic. That gave me a little bit more space. Behind the bathroom door, we have a little cabinet here. I keep all of my glassware and different containers in here. It's mostly thrifted items. I try to keep waste-free, so everything's all bulk foods and containers. There's really not a whole lot of space for food storage, but for one person, it's really not too bad. So the fridge is a 3/4 fridge, so it's not full size, which for one person has been totally fine. I haven't had very many problems with it at all. Over here we have a root cellar. It's not insulated to the outside on the 2 sides, so it keeps all of your veggies nice and cool during the winter. If you want to put anything down there in the fall, it's a great place. Right now I just have it as a little bit of extra storage for some baking supplies. I don't have a full oven, so I just got a little toaster oven off of Craigslist. More food storage. I usually keep more of my bigger bulk goods up here, some produce. I have a single well sink. It kind of forces me to do my dishes after every meal, which probably isn't the worst thing for me either. Got the soap dispenser and then a water purifier, and it just hooks up right underneath the sink. Got my microwave up here right now, but we're working on putting in a countertop that goes out and a little bar top. And I have 2 hot plates that I use for stovetop cooking. And honestly, that's kind of been enough for me. When you're limited to 2, it kind of makes you more creative with your cooking. And I've really been enjoying that challenge. The adjustable weight set has been great for tiny home living. They go up to 52.5 pounds each. That's been great to have those around to kind of get some extra winter activity in when the snow gets too deep. The builders found this great live edge railing. They were gonna chop it down and kind of sand it off. And they were thinking, no, it just looks too cool. And I'm really glad that they left it the way it is, because I really like that live look. Really makes you feel like you're in a cabin. Put the air conditioning remote right here. Used to be down a little bit further, and I realized in the middle of the night that I'd forget it and not be able to get to it. So I made it quick, easy access, just right by the bed, just in case. Otherwise I can get it from downstairs, and either way, it's really easy to get to. This is usually where I sleep, queen size bed. Got a nice little weighted blanket here. I feel like that's kind of the best for those really cold winter nights. It's got the best view of the mountains, watch the sunset if I like to go to bed early. This is my spare bedroom. When I moved out of the house, I told my mom I'd always keep a spare room for her. I think she's got a pretty great view from her room. We got a nice little spot here for the cats. They love to just come up here and watch the deer run around and the mice run around out there, so they really enjoy that. If you ever stay the night and you need a little privacy, got a nice little curtain here, and all of the curtains are also blackout, so it keeps everything nice and dark in here at night, so that's been really nice. I really like that it allows me to get outside more. Even just having the windows all open kind of makes me feel like I'm still outside. Try to live every day, just, finding the joy in the little things. If you're thinking about getting into tiny living, I definitely recommend looking at your loan options. If you're gonna get a loan, there's different certifications that you have to go through. You can't just start building a tiny home and get it insured. There are some different nuances with that. Tiny home loans are usually only 7 years, so a lot of people don't take that into consideration. They think they can get a 15, 30-year mortgage on a tiny home, and your payments will be a little bit higher, but it's usually only 7 years because it's an RV loan. I would definitely maybe take a tour of a few, definitely maybe stay a night in an Airbnb that's a tiny home, and just see if it works for you. See if it's something that you can really do with your significant other, that everyone will be able to live in peace and harmony in a small space.
Thank you for watching this week's video on Adele. I hope you enjoyed her tiny house. One of the things that she loves about living tiny is being able to spend more time outdoors. And I love spending time outdoors as well. And when I'm outside, an essential piece of gear that I must have are polarized lenses. They're essential because they filter out strong light bouncing off horizontal surfaces, which reduces the unwanted glare of bright sunlight on water. When you're driving, this is helpful because it reduces the distracting glare from headlights and light reflecting off the wet road. Polarized lenses also improve sharpness of your surroundings in bright situations by decreasing color distortion. At JINS, you can make any eyeglasses into polarized sunglasses for UV protection while you enjoy the outdoors. They have over 600 frame styles to choose from, so you can choose freely to customize your own pair. Pick any frame on their website and add either prescription or non-prescription polarized lenses to them for free. JINS has a limited time offer to upgrade to polarized lenses, which is normally a $120 value. Use code FLORB15 for $15 off your glasses. Click the link below and go to jins.life/FLORB and order your glasses today from JINS. Thank you for watching. Big love. Have a great week.